Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, as human beings, today, end of this 2020, we are experiencing the the advance and the experience of human consciousness, awareness. We came very long journey from bull cart to aeroplane or to the rocket, and also from horse to horsepower, and we develop our material skills. But at the same time, when we look very closely, we are failed to develop our deeper human awareness, our own consciousness. We become kind of like a trap within our own mind, or whatever the desires we looking, or whatever the hopes, or the whatever the goals we follow, because we again and again and again keep doing and keep following and repeating the same thing through this samsaric journey. From childhood to now, if you look very carefully, as a kind of like a third party person, or if you get a bird eye view regarding your own journey of this life, you will see how your consciousness you repeat again and again. And sometimes we are more into this material world, and that dependent nature help us to becoming a more debtor, and we lose our consciousness or the awareness. And we are more nowadays, it's kind of like from ancient time to today, through this journey, what happened, we more became a debtor, or kind of like a beggar to all these consumer productions and machines and technology, rather than taking the advantage out of it and develop our consciousness or the awareness. We get addicted to it, and we became debtors, and we lose our awareness. So when we lose our awareness, what will happen? We become more depending from that outside world, and we become kind of like a beggars, and our beggary increase day by day. And that beggary, or that dependent nature, we think as a success. But our awareness, we lose it. But when we look at the human history, we got this everything, all this machines, technology, and consumer product. Everything came to us to bring us some comfort. And out of that comfort, you have to have the right awareness, or the clear awareness, or right mindfulness. But if you lose your mindfulness or your awareness because of this lifestyle, what will happen? Where are we going to end? So we losing the very purpose of our humanity. So then yourself, rather than worshipping the artificial intelligence, or rather than becoming a beggar for artificial intelligence, just try to remember this natural intelligence more higher and advanced than this artificial intelligence. So we try to spend so much money, time, and we so appreciate it. And at the same time, we lose our natural intelligence inside us. That natural intelligence means your awareness. So in the future, maybe, and as you know now, little by little, that auto drive vehicles come, and the people become more relaxed and comfortable. But out of that relaxation, what we gain? Maybe the inner laziness, or maybe in the future that there are cooking machine will come, and once you put all the vegetables and then everything cook and come as a plate, and then what will happen? You will eat and your laziness start to grow. So now it is a great challenge for you to break down this inner laziness. So that's why one of the tools that you develop to break down this laziness is meditation. Because meditation develop the clarity and it clean all the defilements inside our mind. And remember, there are head to toes. With this each and every atom, we bringing kind of like a past experience and defilements and the habits and the patterns or methods. So cleaning it, it's your personal responsibility. So no one give it as a gift. So it is your opportunity and it is your responsibility looking yourself within yourself and recognizing what kind of lifestyle you want to develop, what kind of habits you want to drop, what you have to change during this time. Look yourself. So through this meditation, it brings the clarity to observe. And to Vipassana meditation, there is another way called analytical meditation. So when you deeply analyze how this everything happened, it gives a wisdom for you to recognize who we are and why these things happen to us in this life. For Vipassana, another meaning, at one time you can see many things. In day-to-day life, as ordinary people, mostly we see one thing at one time. So that is the method that we develop through the samatha meditation also. But when it comes to Vipassana, you able to recognize many things at once. Why? Because this everything appear not as one. Even though we see as one entity, things appear as a result of many. As example, 5 aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, formations, recognition. So just you take it as a feeling, or just you take at consciousness or the awareness or understanding. But deeper, there are many things and 4 elements. So whatever the material things that you touch, and you take it as a kind of like a one entity. But when you develop the method of the Vipassana, what happening? You do start to develop the wisdom to see at one time many things. So once you start to develop that ability, what will happen? You start to recognize this all the habitual patterns, this everything that as life, that tangle and as a network, as a flux, so as a spider net, everything all over our body. So only the place that you can keep free your awareness. So if you depending from more physical, if you depending from material, remember that is where you mostly you lose the awareness. So then it is your responsibility. If you look for freedom, if you look for success, even in conventional success, if you look for spiritual development, if you trying to cultivate your mind with this spiritual practice, remember, slowly, little by little, you have to drop this nature to depend from physical. And once you start to see it as a nature, it has a quality, and you start to see behind this body how the mind govern. So as example, very simple example, you feel hungry. So when you feel hungry, it mostly kind of like you feel like it is a physical need. Because as all living beings, ekanamaking sabbe satta aharattitika. These all living beings depending from, the one of the major thing is depending from food. So hunger is normal for everyone. But when you feel the hungry, the mostly we think it's kind of like a physical connection. But if you look very carefully, if you hold it for a moment and look, then mostly you see it is kind of like of course there is a physical need, but mostly it's kind of like a more than 80% of our eating desire come out of mental state, not the physical state. That's why when you have the anxiety, depression, you eat all these little things. You always, your body need most of the carbohydrate, and you need more lot of salt, so sodium. So it's a mental desire. You feel some release out of that. Another thing is you feel you need sugar. When you have the depression, anxiety, when you have desire, hopes, dream, when you living in dreams, your body needs salt. Your body needs sugar. Those are the main two the powders kill mostly entire humans. This washing salt, white salt, and the white sugar. It directly go to blood. So it's mostly come out of the mind. So learn to observe how the mind behave when you have physical needs, any emotional needs. When you have that, look, is it physically really you want it? Or is it it's your mind need that? And even any kind of physical comfort when it arises, start to look rather than jump into it or react it or resist. Start to look from where this comes. Then you will see underneath these physical feelings, mainly mind govern that everything. So once you recognize that, that recognition itself kind of like become a solution to you. And then it will help slowly, little by little, you detach your physical dependency from this outside world, and you become more aware and conscious within yourself. That is kind of like a very basic step that you can take to develop your awareness, and rather than depending from the outside and developing the beggary inside you, you develop independency and awareness within yourself. That is very necessary. That is where your future going to be. If you look for happiness or the success, if you look for any development, behalf of you or behalf of your family or behalf of entire human civilizations, remember, that is where your future going to be. If you lose that, you just become kind of like a dust. Even the history will not going to recognize who you are. Even the history not going to show that you exist during this time. Only when we look at the human history, million, trillions people already came to us and they gone. But very few ancestors we talk, very few people we know. Why? Because when they develop the consciousness and contribute it to human civilizations, and then we're going to know about them. Even the Buddha, why we know about the Buddha after this 2600 years ago? After this 2600 years, because he contributed the best to these human civilizations. So then yourself look, it is your responsibility out of this all the wisdom and the knowledge. The very first step you have to take, you have to develop it within yourself. And once you develop it within yourself, and once you become successful, And there is opportunity for you to contribute it to others and share it to others. So then look what you develop. Are you developing the beggary? Are you developing the this dependent nature? Are you becoming a debtor to emotional or even the spiritual or material lifestyle? Or are you gaining this all the facilities to yourself, or are you trying to develop yourself and become free? Make you completely free from these old boundaries is the main purpose of the Buddha's teaching. So then remember yourself. Even the meditation, it's a kind of like directing you to move yourself. So the Dharma, all the Tripitaka, all the community of the Sangha, try to help you. So then it is your responsibility gaining that help and uplifting yourself. What is that upliftment means? Change yourself. When you have to change? Right now. If you pause it to tomorrow never going to come. When you see something, oh, I don't need this anymore. This is enough for me. When you see in that very moment, change it. Try to start to perform the other side of it. Make it more profitable to yourself. And that is where you're going to develop it. Maybe it is a little step. That is good. Rather than waiting for big steps, big moments, start to cultivate and nourish your life with the little change in day-to-day life. You're going to see it deeper within your heart, very silence mood. No one going to hear that. Even yourself, it's slow, very slowly, you're going to see the mistake that you keep doing. Right away determine, I'm going to stop this. Maybe in that very moment, you have no power. But at least determine, I'm going to change this. You will see within few days, the change will come to you. There is no way anything can challenge to your consciousness or the awareness. When you lose your awareness, when you lose your consciousness, when you lose your understanding, all the demons, ghosts, satans, and everybody come to our life. Even our own shadow become a demon. So there is no way to escape. So then remember yourself. But once you become conscious, mindful, and when you develop your awareness within yourself, not regarding the outside world, within yourself, within this body, head to toes, and keep your skin as your limit and stay there again and again, again and again, look into it. And when you look, and you will see, this is a kind of like a rotation, and it is a kind of like a eating and the same thing, vomit and then again eating. They vomit and again eating. So our desires again and again, again and again rotate with this form, feeling, sensation, formations, recognitions. So one time the Buddha gave a sermon called Jnana Vattu Sutta. So in this Jnana Vattu Sutta, Jnana means the wisdom or awareness. The Vastu is the treasury. So the greatest treasury that you have, the most highest wealth that you have is your awareness. Regarding what? Not, oh, this much I know, oh, this much world history I know, oh, this much subjects I know, this much language I know. It is not about that knowledge. So here, Jnana, in this Jnana Vattu Sutta, the mainly Buddha talk about the name and form. So be very clear and know about the names and the forms. What you should know about the name and form. Know the arising existence and disappearance of the names and the forms. So when it comes to the name, all the mental phenomena, all the thoughts related to names, just it names. There's nothing else. So without names, you cannot think. So it's everything. The mind means names and the forms. So when it comes to the form, mainly you take this physical body, head to toes, your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And then everything around you, it also related to the form. But just get into this body, because your names and forms interconnected within this body. If you don't have this body, you don't have any names. You're not going to experience any names. So then, to experience this world, that's why it say you have to have the very perfect eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Why? In case, imagine, if your eye is not work properly from birth, then you're not going to recognize the colors properly. If you don't recognize the colors properly, you're not going to recognize the name out of that color properly. So imagine your ears doesn't work from the birth, there is some disability. So then the sound not going to come properly. So if the sound doesn't come properly, you cannot get the name properly. So if you cannot get the name properly, you're going in a different way. You cannot understand it. So that's why the most important thing, that out of all the miracle, we looking for the miracles, we looking for the stars, we looking for other planets, we looking for the aliens, and we looking for levitations, we looking for rotation with ourselves. But the most beautiful miracle happened to you. Still it is happening. You may not recognize your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and this mind. This work proper. Just imagine, tomorrow you hit your head. When you're going to sleep tonight, you hit your head on your bed, and next day you forget everything. You don't know anything. What will happen to you? When you wake up tomorrow, if your eye is not going to work properly, what you going to do? When you wake up tomorrow morning, if your ears not working, to whom you going to tell? When you wake up tomorrow, I have seen like that lives. Overnight, all the nerve system shut down. So sometimes, the peoples have their mind start to sabotage itself to their own body. Our nerve system start to sabotage to our own body. If it is happened to you, there is no way to fix it. But it didn't happen to you. That is the greatest miracle. Other things, it's a kind of like a dust. But how about this, that what you experience when you hear these words? If this is go wrong, from where are you going to get the help? What will happen to you? When you wake up tomorrow, if you cannot keep your legs on the floor by yourself, if you cannot move to here and there, to left to right, what will happen to you? When you wake up tomorrow, if your neck not going to move, all the mobility you lose, what will happen to you? To whom you going to tell? But it didn't happen to you. But it may going to happen to you and me, for everyone, one day. Who knows? But before it happened to us, we have to appreciate this. And we have to know we have the best gift. Don't look other things. Don't compare to anything. You will never find anything to compare to the gift that you have. Appreciate it. Get that gift as a gift. Take care of it properly. And then use it. Why you have it? You have this to develop your awareness. So awareness means not looking this outside world. You cannot reach to it. There is no end. You cannot reach. You know that the Hubble telescope is the one that can see far away. Still, it cannot see. You know, this all the rocket science is became very limited. You know, when it come to the universe, it's a very kind of like a very single tiny moment of million years human civilizations. So then remember, but yourself, head to toes yourself, looking and observing, recognizing what is this. It is possible. If you give your best, it is possible within 7 days to 7 years, you will attain to enlightenment. You know? So then that recognition means recognizing the name and form. So the name is related to your mind, all the mental phenomena, ideas, thoughts, and the form is the body. So when it comes to the form, this mainly this physical body, and this all everything came out of the four element: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. Those are the four elements. And this everything in the universe, when it come to the world or the universe, everything that related to these four elements. So then look yourself, what the Buddha mentioned in this sutra, in the Jnanavattu Sutta. So learn how this name and form arising, existing, and disappearing. So what is the arising of these names? Why these names arise? Why this all the mental phenomena come to us? Why these thoughts come to us? Because of the five aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, formations, recognition. Otherwise, no feelings going to come, no thoughts going to come to us. So then, what is the form, feeling, sensation, formation? So that is the body. So what is the body means then? That is mean four elements. In this body, there is nothing beyond four elements. So then, out of this body, we have the worry, sadness, unhappiness, fear, unsatisfaction, anxiety, depression. This everything related to thoughts. Happiness, joy, pleasure, success. So ideas, this everything related to thoughts. But this everything come out of comparison of this movement of this physical. So the physical come out of the four elements. And even when it come to that, so because of these four elements, we get the body. And then when we lose our hair, or when we lose our skin, or when we lose our aging, and when we lose our comfort, then we become worried. See that it become the mental phenomena, it is become thought, and out of the four elements, out of the body, you become sad, worry, unhappy because of the body. And maybe it is your body, or maybe you look at someone else, and you have the fear, unsatisfaction, unhappiness, worry, sadness regarding someone else. But that someone else mean that also four elements. So there is nothing else. But when it come to our mind and hold our mind and stuck in our mind, once we get into that current, then what will happen? We cannot get out of it. Then again and again we tangle to that current. So that is the samsara. So then what the Buddha mentioned? So when you develop the wisdom, you're going to recognize the very first level, all these names and forms change. The changing not enough. Just recognizing change doesn't enough, because you have to recognize why it happened to you. Because we recognizing, we change. Our name change, our form change, we recognize. All our thoughts dying. Same like the body. Look what happened few days ago, maybe. You had ideas and then you were so happy. Where that happiness? It is a thought. What happened to that happiness? It died. And maybe you had the worry or unhappy or anger. So sometimes people say, when you get angry, sometimes say, oh, after few hours he going to be okay, she going to be okay. How you know that? Because you know that anger die, that thought die. So the physical also every day dying. So this body and the mind both dying. And it dying and it becoming, dying and becoming. So then we see it. Then how we experience it? Why we experience that arising existence and disappearance? Because of the birth. Because of we born like this. Otherwise we not going to. That's why if you born with the kind of like a different kind of eye, ear, nose, you're not going to experience this. So we born like this way. So that's why we experience this. So then what the reason for the birth? That is where you can stop this, because if you stop the birth, then you can stop this happening. Otherwise, no one can stop this. Once you become a human being, you're going to experience this. All the five aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition. No one can stop. Even the Buddha or the enlightened masters, they also experience five aggregates. But they don't have the Chandarago hold it to it, and with the self-centered mind. But you and me always holding and claiming and jumping to it and fighting for it and resisting, thinking it is me. Why we experience this? Because of the birth. And why we born? We born because what we experience, we hold as I am. And then we depending on that experience. That's why it happening. We depending on our experience. So our hopes, our desires, our dreams means we depending on our experience. That's mean feeling or name and form. We depending on it. But that if you able to release your that dependency from the name and the form, just you experience it. Anymore, there is no current to become. So that is what called that sotapanna, that stream level of entering to the stream level. So once you enter to that, and little by little, you're going to become very clear with this process, and you will clarify that other everything. But at least you have to have this knowledge in the beginning to not to jump forward or not to create again and again your life. Just to know this everything related to four elements, and then out of this four elements this body come, and when with that the mind manifest, and then when we experience form, feeling, sensation, formations, recognition, that experience we hold as self, I am. And then we depending from that experience again and again, that is where the repetition come. That is what called habit. So habit take us to the next moment. So if you have any action without developing a habit, it just become action. There is no way that it going to take you to another level. So that is what you have to understand. Through the deeper observation yourself, you can get it. And in the Greek history, there is a story coming regarding Narcissism. There was a young boy called Narcissus. He didn't go that much to outside world. But what happened? One day he went to the forest, and then there was the little lake. And in that lake, he just ponder to drink water. And he saw his own face. Then he thought that is the first time he saw his own face. What happened? He thought it's kind of like another girl inside the water. And suddenly all the desires arise and he jumped to the water to catch this girl. But he couldn't get it. Then what happened? It disappeared because the water became busy, and he waited a little bit, settled down, and he thought it's that she's hiding inside the water. And then again he wait, and then when the water settled down, slowly he started to look, and he saw. Have you seen some cats, dogs attack to the mirrors, thinking another cat or dog there? Sometimes elephants, some other animals, they attack to their own face. So same like, this is what happened to the narcissist. And he look again, and now he keep trying. When he jump, she disappearing. So then what happened? The next day, he went home, and next day, early morning, he came. And then he looked right away, she was there. Now he's struggling with his own image. So what happened? He tried with everything, struggling in the water to get this girl. Now he have the deeper desire, and he loving with this girl, with this imagination, and with the picture, his own picture. He start to deeply have the love, and he bond into that image, bound to that image. Then what happened? He's struggling, and finally he died with that desire. So when some person with the self-centered mind, egocentric ideas struggle, that is called narcissism. So it is a kind of like a mental disease. So mostly when we look ourselves, we are also kind of like that. Even though today we are wearing like this cloth, and we have nice suits, saris, nice garments, shoes, or ornaments, or we have many kind of that artificial things or makeup. We use this everything. But deeper inside, we love our own image. We struggle to catch it. And sometimes as a husband, wife, children, friends and families, we have other people close to us. But out of that, everybody, mostly, we try to catch ourselves. We try to get what we like through others. That is kind of like a real narcissism that now it is more common everywhere. Deeper inside, we struggling, and sometimes we struggling with the outside also to get what we want, get what we dream, get what we see inside our mind. So when it keep happening, we're going to come back again. It's like the narcissist came next day and struggled with the same image in the water. And the next life also we're going to come and maybe keep doing the same kind of things. So then that's why once you see yourself, you doing something and deeply start to recognize the connection, where that connection coming from. It is just your own name and form. We trying to we trying to just to facilitate, and we try to ignite our deeper consciousness. So little by little, have the effort to see this and be aware yourself, as I mentioned from the beginning. Where you have to start with the physical, and kind of like a develop self-discipline to yourself. You develop that self-discipline not to lose anything, but to get into the most beautiful gift that you have, that is consciousness. So then maybe one meal you drop, one desire you drop, temptation you drop, one emotion you drop, but out of that you gain million times higher than one emotion. You gain awareness. That awareness is the most beautiful gift that you can have in this life. It is within yourself, but to get it to the right place and use it is not easy. Why? Because we become, we develop this beggary, this dependency life with this physical and outside and material. So the meditation is a method, the path. If anybody like to develop that awareness and get into this path, so then yourself, day by day, remember, don't struggle with your own image. Don't struggle with your own mental formations or the defilements or the, the names that we carrying within ourselves. Why? Because it is just the result of our body. There's nothing else. So then once you able to settle down with yourself and see this how this arise and existing itself, and without interfering to it or without reacting to it, that is where your liberation going to happen. That is where your freedom going to happen. That is where your nibbana going to happen. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi degayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadang punya sampadang. Sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe saptanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.